Welcome all. I am Yogita Yadav, Assistant Professor at the Department of Social Sciences, BBD University. I introduce the course Industrial Sociology. In this course, I have discussed various concepts of overall industrial sociology, starting with the introduction of industrial sociology. So many things are involved in this. Or then we will learn each and everything one by one. The answer to all the questions they will be given here over a period of time when we will move forward and discuss different concepts of industrial sociology one by one. Industrial sociology is a discipline concerned with industry as a social system, including those factors like technical factor, economic factor, political factor, which affect the structure and functioning of the system. The subject matter of industrial sociology is the analytical study of human relations evolving in and developing on account of industrialization. Industrial sociology is a growing field of continuous increase in the industrial activities and industrial units throughout the world. Since most of the students of BTech are likely to join industrial organization after completing their studies, so it helps to expose the student to the development of industry and human relations within the industry. Now, what is sociology? Sociology is the science of understanding the dynamics of group interaction and social behavior. In fact, sociology focuses attention on groups, on organizations, as well as society rather than individuals. Area of concern to a sociologist might include the actual pattern of interaction, the effect of different social status on the interaction, and the effect of different roles on the nature of interaction. The specific topics covered under sociology includes group dynamics, communication, leadership, conflicts, organizational structures, etc. Now, definition of industrial sociology. The concept of industrial sociology incorporates two terms, namely industrial and sociology. The term industrial means concerning the industry. The word industry is derived from the Latin word industrial, which means dexterity and resourcefulness. Thus, industry is the technique under which anything is done efficiently and smoothly. Resourcefulness implies use of machinery, raw materials, methods, or other inputs in an efficient manner. Sociology deals with the society and social relations. In sociology, all kinds of social relations are studied. In fact, sociology is a scientific study employing scientific methodology and techniques in its study of social relations. In the word of Maxwell and Page, sociology is about social relations, the network of relationships we call society. Industrial sociology is concerned with the application of or development of principles of sociology relevant to the industrial mode of production and the industrial way of life. In industrial sociology, social relations specifically concerned with industry are studied. Of course, these relations are studied by scientific techniques employed in sociology. The adjective industrial implies the application of sociological theories and methods to one segment of society that is concerned with the economic function of producing and distributing the goods and services which society requires. So, industrial means the organized activity concerned with economic processes. Industrial sociology is particularly the study of social relations in industry. The economic organization involves several systems and subsystems. Each of these includes innumerable role. Industrial sociology studies the social processes, methods, and cause and effect relationship concerning industrial system and subsystem. Now, objective of industrial society. It provides insights into the social aspect of industry. Industrial sociology adds an entirely new section of knowledge to human mind. The present industrial society cannot be understood without reference to such knowledge. So the labor class has its peculiar status, roles, and problems. The problems of the labor class must be addressed to have a lasting peace in industry. Then it also focuses on the employer and employee relationships. Industrial peace and progress depends upon harmonious relationship between the employers and employees. This requires suitable attention to several factors such as a rate of wages, working conditions, behavior of bureaucracy, security of jobs, provision of housing, and scientific methods of recruitment, etc. So, all these fall within the scope of industrial sociology, who helps is therefore necessary for the betterment of employer and employee relationships. It also provides solutions to the problem of industrial society. Industrialization has led to stratification, differentiation, change in status and role, and the form of social institutions. So all this has resulted into a several problems. Besides, one has to solve the problem peculiar to industries such as strikes, lockouts, problem of recruitments, problem of accidents, problem of housing, health, sanitation, education, social security. So these industrial problems are intimately concerned with other section of urban societies. The remedies to all these problems require a sound knowledge of industrial sociology. It also focuses on scientific division of labor. In India, division of labor has been traditionally based upon caste system. The caste system, however, is now appearing to be an impediment in economic progress. So, effort is being made to eliminate caste system. This has led to disorganization and division of labor. Anyone is now engaged in any profession, whatever may be his innate ability. Scientific division of labor in the field of industry requires a fairly wide knowledge concerning different activities. So, industrial sociology extends help in this process. It also focuses on a social and labor welfare. Most of the urban problems are intimately related to the labor problems. Since the labor class occupies an important status in an industrial society, so social welfare and labor welfare are intimately connected. Both these require a sound knowledge of industrial sociology. Now, features of industrial sociology. It is a specialized discipline because it is focused on a industrial society only. The study in industrial sociology is a systematic and based on a scientific methods and techniques. It aims at a scientific understanding of social aspect of industries like interpersonal relationships at workplace, how it affect the efficiency and performance of an individual based on the study of the formal and informal organization of the workplace, because the formal structure or informal structure of the organization at a workplace is also affect the utilization of resources or efficiency of resources, and which directly affect the industrial productivity. Industrial sociology views as a complex social organization because it having a different problems which affect the overall economic development and growth. Now, scope of industrial sociology. When we talk about the scope of industrial sociology, it includes the study of those economic organizations which have the primary aim of producing goods and services, exchanging them, or organizing and manipulating monetary processes. Miller and Form has described the field as being concerned broadly with the study of industrial society and also with the analysis of the social organization of work. It is suggested that industrial sociology deals with all type of work organizations. The field of industrial sociology to the industrial institutions with a focus on the social structure of large-scale manufacturing organization. Burns has classified the subject matter of industrial sociology in different forms like bureaucracy, study of functions, study of functional groups at a workplace, analysis of industrial interpersonal relationships, or influence of industrialization on the individual. According to Miller and Form, the subject matter of industrial sociology includes work group and interpersonal relationships in it. The role of work group, the study of machines and instruments in social organization. So, the most of the writers on industrial sociology has covered the different aspects of industrial society like work group, structure of industrial bureaucracy or internal organization or organization of trade unions and union management relationships. In short, the subject matter of industrial sociology is human relations originating and developing an account of industrialization. In industrial sociology, we study the interpersonal relations among individuals and connected directly with industries. If these relations are confined to a single factory or concern, they are called as internal relations or social relations in industry. The owner, the managerial staff, and the workers of an industrial unit are linked mutually by internal relations. The internal relations are of three kinds: formal relations, informal relations, and mixed relations. The formal relations are those which are established between individual in an industrial unit on account of their position. The formal relations exclude personal relations. Formal relations are functional and are determined by the hierarchical order in the industrial unit. For example, if two persons are doing the related work, that is, one may be manufacturing a part of machine while the other is polishing or finishing it, the relation between them would be formal. The official relation between the management and employee are also formal. Informal relations, the personal relations among the people in an organization are called informal relations. Such relations may obtain among individual or among groups. For example, if there is friendship between two workers of a factory, these relations would be called informal relations. If two or more laborers conspire against the foreman or some other officers, the kind of relationship which come into being in this way is also informal in nature. Sometimes factions are found in a factory and the members are divided because of informal relation. Such relations are based on personal likes and dislikes, personal taste, language, attitude, values, beliefs, etc. Next is a mixed relation. It is also known as a socio-technical relations. These are certain relations which are neither purely formal nor purely informal. Some scholars have termed these relations as socio-technical. These relations occur between persons connected with industry in the course of the performance of their duties. these relations are partially connected with the industry and are partially personal. For example, the laborers while lifting super heavy load sing collectively. Through song, they urge each other to put in his best effort. This collective effort is indicative of a sense of cooperation among them. This relation of belongingness is personal, but it emerges in the course of performing work or duty. Therefore, this type of relationship is known as a mixed relationship. Next type of social relation in industry is the external relations. A particular industrial unit or factory has, besides internal relations, relations with other industrial units or factories, suppliers, governments, various social agencies. Such relations are known as external relations. Each industrial unit has many type of such relations. From governmental agencies, an industry may seek industrial license, financial assistance, etc. The industries also seek to establish contact with several groups or agencies. The industries also have some relations with educational institutes and polytechnics. From these, they may be recruiting workers or executive trainees. Beside, each industry has relations with the society in general. The region in the neighborhood of an industrial unit have especially close relation with the industry. So generally in industrial area there are organizations which provide cover against illegal and antisocial activities. The industries have to maintain relations with such organization also. Now psychological factor which serve as a foundation of industrial sociology. First is a psychology of industry. There are many aspects of industries where assistance of a psychologist is particularly desirable. For example, it is necessary to conduct psychological tests for the selection of properly qualified personnel for particular jobs. Similarly, the psychologist can give valuable advice about the condition of work, both physical and psychological. The physical condition of work includes lighting, temperature, ventilation, music, hours of work, and rest. Other similar conditions. Psychologist conditions Psychological conditions include security of the workers, satisfaction of their needs, inspiration in their works, their relations with other workers, and senior staffs also. Next psychological foundation is based on our individual differences. Most of the psychologists recognize that human beings differ from each other in respect of intelligence, interest, aptitude, special abilities, personality, etc. These are called as individual differences. If these differences are ignored, then one cannot select the most able worker for a particular job. So, industrial psychology is directly concerned with individual differences in the matter of selection and promotion of personnel. An idea can be explained to one person in one particular way, but a different methods may have to be adopted to explain the same to another person. Next is a personal adjustment. It is necessary for each worker to make adjustment with the environment surroundings him in the factory. Without this, he cannot take interest in his work, may suffer from tension. If there is adjustment, the number of accidents and industrial conflicts would be much less. Fatigue, monotony, boredom are also to be kept under control. In this connection, industrial psychologists are continuously conducting research to find out how this adjustment can be achieved and maintained. Now, levels of study. Organizational sociology focuses on the study of organizations from four levels or four point of view. as we uh, discussed in this. First level is a organization as social unit. On the first level, organizations are studied as a social unit, and adequate attention is given to the study of the formal and informal structure. The formal dimension, often studied by administrators, is in itself of little interest to the sociologist of organizations. The latter usually focuses on the informal relations and their connections to the formal system. They are interested in the formal only as it impinges on the social process and sets a stage for the more real processes of interaction. On the second level, the study of organization deals with the relation of an organizational structure as a unit to other organizational structure and non-organizational social unit such as families, communities, ethnic groups, social classes, and the societies. On the third level, organization are studied from the point of view of personality and culture. The organization personality studies are concerned with the interrelationship between the needs of the organizational structure and the need of the personalities of the actors, and also the problem of motivation and involvement. The study of the relations of organization to cultural system focuses on two main concerns. Some scholars are interested in value orientation and inquire into the sources of legitimating of authorities and into the dynamic relationship between the ideals and goals of the organization and the need of the organizational structures itself. Other are more interested in the way which knowledge is procured and institutionalized within the organization. The fourth level, the relations between organizations and their environment, has thus far received relatively less attention, but theoretically, there is a place for this focus of interest. It would include the study of relationships between organizational behavior and the biological and physiological capacities and need of the actors, and the study of respective adaptation between the organization and its geographical physical environment. Now, industrial sociology and other social sciences. Sociology is one of a group of social sciences which also includes anthropology, economics, political science, history. The division among the various social sciences are not clear cut and all share a certain range of common interest, concepts, and method. It is therefore very important to understand that the distinction of the disciplines are to some extent arbitrary and should not be seen in a straitjacket fashion. To differentiate the social sciences would be to explain the differences and gloss over the similarities. Further, more feminist theories have also shown the greater need of interdisciplinary approach. For instance, how would a political scientist or economist study gender roles and their implications for politics or the economy without a sociology of the family or gender division of labor? Now, first relationship is between industrial sociology and general sociology. Industrial sociology is a branch of general sociology. Both use scientific methods and techniques such as observation, questionnaires, schedules, and interviews. The subject matter of both is human relation. Thus, there is a close similarity between industrial sociology and general sociology. But in spite of close similarity, there are also differences between the two. The chief difference lies in the fact that the scope of sociology is much wider than that of industrial sociology. In sociology, we study all aspects of society and all kind of social relations. But in industrial sociology, We study only one aspect of human society and limited number of relations. It studies only those human relations which have sprung up as a consequences of industrialization. What is the nature of family relations is none of the concern of industrial sociology. So, the industrial sociology does study the impact of industrialization upon educational and family relations. Besides, there is one more difference between industrial sociology and general sociology, whereas general sociology makes a general study of wide spectrum of social relations, and the industrial sociology makes a specialized study of human relations in a limited field, namely industry. Next relationship is between industrial sociology and industrial psychology. Industrial psychology is a branch of psychology which studies human behavior in industrial firms. Psychology is a normative science of behavior which can be observed in social, economic, educational, and other spheres. Over the years, different branches of psychology has developed which study human behavior in various fields. In the present age of industrial progress, industries cannot be made to function without human beings because humans are required in the capacity of managers, administrators, programmers, workers, etc. So, where there are human beings, their behavior will be influenced by their relationships. If in industrial field human relations deteriorates them, the result is strike and lockout, which have a widespread impact upon the economy of the nation. Since the future of every nation depends upon its industrial development and progress, this particular field of human behavior become extremely important. It is the aim of industrial psychology to study the principles governing human behavior in the organizational settings. Industrial sociology studies problems concerning human relations in industry from the sociological point of view. There is a close relationship between industrial sociology and industrial psychology. Even when working in an industry, the individual is never alone because he constantly comes into contact with other workers, supervisors, managers, and industrialists. In business, the worker has to deal with all kind of peoples. For this reason, it also become necessary to study the social foundation of industrial psychology. Efforts are being made to bring industrial organization to a scientific level. The more progressive countries try to improve the social life of the workers by organizing various kind of social programs like worker and social progress, labor welfare, industrial management, etc. So, thus, both industrial sociology and psychology are applied social sciences engaged in study and research in the field of human relations in industry and the area connected with it. But they undoubtedly study common material but from different viewpoints. While industrial sociology employs sociological attitude, the viewpoint of industrial psychology is psychological. Even the scope of the two is not identical. The scope of industrial sociology is wider than that of industrial psychology. Now, relationship between industrial sociology and anthropology. Industrial sociology is a study of industrial sector as a social system. Factor influencing it, its structure, roles, factor of change. It is a branch of sociology in which the organization, structure, functions, implicit social relationships of industrial systems are studied. Anthropology studies the origin and development of human culture, how those culture have functioned in the past and how they continue to functions in the present. This information is very useful in understanding the behavior of individual and group in organizations. Culture has significant influence of on human behavior. It dictates what people learn and how they behave. Thus, anthropology contributes a lot in understanding the cultural effect on human behavior. Value system, norms, sentiments, interaction, group cohesiveness, etc., are the concern of anthropology. Industrial sociology covers both formal and informal relationship within an industrial organization and also its relation with external forces like suppliers, customers, government agencies. Anthropology, on the other hand, consider cultural dynamics, role of status, ethnic relations, cross-cultural relations, etc. Both industrial sociology and anthropology supplement each other, whereas industrial sociology studies social relation in the industrial organization. Anthropology considers the impact of culture on human behavior in the industrial organization. Now come to the relationship between industrial sociology and economics. Economics also belong to the family of social sciences. The study of the economic aspect of society is its chief concern. Economics is the study of man's activity devoted to obtaining the material means for the satisfaction of the wants. Thus, it is evident that economics is concerned with the economic relations. The economic relations arise within the framework of society. There is an exchange of materials, labors among men. The industrial sociology is also concerned with the social or human relations. The link between economics and social activities is very close. Both influence each other. So, industrial sociology and economics bear very close relationship. The sociological approach looks at economic behavior in a broader context of social norms, values, practices, and interest. The corporate managers are aware of this. The large investment in the advertisement industry is directly linked to the need to reshape lifestyle and consumption patterns. Trends within the economics, such as a feminist economics, seeks to broaden the focus, drawing in gender as a central organizing principle of society. For instance, they would look at how work in the home is linked to productivity outside. The close relationship between industrial sociology and economics, notwithstanding, there are basic difference between the two. Firstly, there is the basic difference of approach, where the approach of industrial sociology is the social, that of economics towards industrial problem and relations is purely economic. Secondly, the subject matter of industrial sociology revolves around society and social relations, where the subject matter of economics is economic in nature. Now, next is a relationship between industrial sociology and political science. As in the case of economics, there is an increased interaction of methods and approaches between sociology and political sciences. Sociology is devoted to the study of all aspects of society, where conventional political science restricted itself mainly to the study of power as embodied in formal organization. Sociology stresses the interpersonal relationships between sets of institutions, including government, but political science tends to turn attention towards the processes within the government. Sociology shared similar interest of research with political science for a long time. Sociologists like Max Weber worked in what can be termed as a political sociology. The focus of political sociology has been increasingly on the actual study of political behavior. In the recent Indian elections, one has seen the extensive study of political patterns of voting. So, studies have also been conducted in the membership of political organizations, processes of decision making in the organizations, sociological reasons for support of political parties, the role of genders in politics, etc. Now, the relationship between industrial sociology and history. Historians almost as a rule study the past. Sociologists are more interested in the contemporary or recent past. Historians earlier We are content to delineate the actual events to establish how things actually happened. While in sociology, the focus was to seek to establish causal relationships. History studies concrete details, while sociology is more likely to draw abstracts from concrete reality categories, and generalize. Historians today are equally involved in using sociological methods and concepts in their analysis. Conventional history has been about the history of kings and wars, the history of less glamorous or exciting events, as exchange in land relations or gender relations within the family have traditionally been given less attention by historians but form the core area of the sociologist interest. Today, history is far more sociological, and social history is the stuff of history. It looks at social patterns, gender relations, more customs, and important institutions other than the act of rulers, wars, and so on. Now, importance of uh, industrial sociology. What is the need of studying industrial sociology? The answer to this question is discussed in the following points. First, insights into the social aspect of industry. Industrial sociology adds an entirely new section of knowledge to human minds. The present industrial society cannot be understood without references to such knowledge. The labor class has its peculiar status, roles, and problems. The problems of the labor class must be addressed to have a lasting peace in industry. The use of scientific methods in industrial sociology has to find out cause effect relationships in a particular area. Industrial society requires such a scientific knowledge for understanding. The future of every progressive nation rests upon its industries. Industrial progress is a general index of the progress of a nation. Industrial progress, however, requires a certain conditions. Beside it requires solution of industrial problems. Industrial sociology studies institution of industrial society, the social control, social change, interactions, problems, remedies, etc. So, industrial progress is not possible without the knowledge of industrial sociology. Then, next importance is to provide a solution to the problem of industrial society. Industrialization has led to stratification and differentiation, change in status and role, and the form of social institutions. All this has resulted into several problems. Industrialization has led to stratification, differentiation, change in status and role, and the form of social institutions. All this has resulted into several problems. Besides, one has to solve the problems peculiar to industry such as strikes, lockouts, problem of recruitments, accidents, problem of housing, health, sanitation, education, social security, etc. So these industrial problems are intimately concerned with other section of the urban society. The remedies to all these problems require a sound knowledge of industrial sociology. Next importance of industrial sociology is the familial integration. Family as a unit occupies the central position in society. Its disorganization can lead to social disorganization. Modern families in urban and industrial areas are gradually disintegrating due to social evils such as prostitutions, unhealthy recreations, alcoholism, absence of social control, uh, fast rate of social mobility, unhealthy conditions of living, overcrowding, and slums. These problems must be solved to save urban families from disorganization. Scientific division of labor. In India, division of labor has been traditionally based upon caste system. The caste system is now appearing to be an impediment in economic progress. So, effort is being made to eliminate caste system. This has led to disorganization and division of labor. Anyone is now engaged in any profession, whatever may be his innate ability. Scientific division of labor in the field of industry requires a fairly wide knowledge concerning different activities. Rationalization. India lacks in rationalization in industries. With the progress of education among capitalists and employers and the interference by the government, efforts are now being made for more and more rationalization in industry. This is held by industrial sociology. Industrial peace and progress depends upon harmonious relationship between the employers and the employees. This requires suitable attention to several factors such as the rate of wages, working conditions, security of job, provision of housing, scientific method of recruitment, etc. So all these fall within the scope of industrial sociology, whose help is therefore necessary for the betterment of employer-employee relationships. Problem of automation also. With the progress of industrialization in India, automation is increasing. This has increased unemployment, though on the other hand, it has increased profit of the industrialists. So, automation has been opposed by many labor unions. The solution of such disputes require knowledge of industrial sociology. And next, success in industry depends upon industrial bureaucracy. Efficiency of industrial bureaucracy depends upon a scientific industrial management. So, industrial bureaucrats require a training in industrial sociology. This is particularly relevant to present day Indian conditions. Social and labor welfare. Most of the urban problems are intimately related to the labor problem. Since the labor class occupies an important status in an industrial society, therefore, social welfare and labor welfare are intimately connected. Both these requires a sound knowledge of industrial sociology. The Indian government has launched 5-year plans to bring about planned development of industries and so solve many problems like illiteracy, overpopulation, low level of wages, low productivity of agriculture, absence of trained personnel, black money, corruption, etc. All these problems are studied by the industrial sociologist. Their suggestions may be valuable in the solution of these problems. Now, applications of industrial sociology. Industrial sociology is the study of interaction of peoples in the workplace. It includes the study of boss, subordinates, interdepartmental and management union relationships, and on macro sociological scale, the study of the impact of industrialization on the whole society. In the light of this, the application of industrial sociology can be stated that as industrial sociology is used to analyze and understand the nature of interaction among the people working in an organization. It can be used to understand the functioning of trade unions. It can also use to study the dynamics of industrial relations in any organization. It can be used as a subject for the student of sociology, technology, and business administrations. It also very useful in training of manpower in order to staff the upcoming institutes offering courses in sociology. The knowledge of industrial sociology can create trained staff to conduct research and training for collecting information about the impact of the various community development programs, panchayati raj institutions, etc. So apart from this, we will talk about the another important areas also. Then slowly we will take forward this discussion to the another important relevant concept. So this all I will discuss with you in the next class. Thank you very much.